Chapter 7. We reached the fork in the road back to school, and we could either take the usual road or a path going through the woods. Let's go back the long way. There are a few plants growing in this area I want to check out. I didn't mind the woods during the day, and I was in no hurry to get back. Brittany stopped a few times to investigate flowers, telling me all about their special properties. How do you know all this? I asked, my mind boggling with the information. I've been learning since, well, as long as I can remember. My mother took me into the woods to gather plants ever since I could walk. Intense envy burned through me. Brittany might be prettier than me, she might be more popular, and she was definitely richer. I didn't care about any of that stuff, but the way she lit up when she talked about her family was something I'd never have. Can you hear something? She asked. We both stood for a moment listening, but heard nothing. Still, as we walked along the secluded path, I had a prickling at the back of my neck. We turned a corner and the school came into view, taking my breath away. On a sunny day like this, Edgewater looked so impressive. Most of the time I took the place for granted, moaning about the lack of heating and the huge distances between classes. It wasn't like I had time to sit around gazing at the majestic facade. The stone building on top of the rise seemed more like a castle than a school, with the two stone towers at the front of the school reflected in the moat. A scrambling noise behind us made us both spin around. Probably some animal. Brittany grinned. We're a bit jumpy. I grinned back, hoping it wasn't some dangerous kind of animal. You're not wrong, especially after that drill the other night. I thought I was going to die. The drills are an important part of our training. She would say that, since she'd done brilliantly. A gatehouse marked the edge of the school grounds. Back in the olden days, this had been the main road into the school. Way back before cars and stuff. The gatehouse stood neglected now that we had a fancy paved road and high-tech security. It'd have been a lonely job way down here, far from the main building. I guess the guard could have brought a book with him. There was a grate for a fire in the little house and room for a comfy chair. I'd explored it once when I first started at the school. Actually, sitting in a warm little house like that without having to talk to a soul sounded like my perfect job. The scrambling behind us grew louder. I exchanged glances with Brittany. She'd heard it too. It wasn't animals, and very few students came this way. Nope. It was worse. A scream died in my throat as Oscar and Blake rushed us. They circled around us, trapping us near the gatehouse. Well, hello. Oscar grinned as though he chatted to us every day. Been shopping? Like that wasn't obvious from the bags in Brittany's hands. She giggled. Just a few things. I tried to walk away, not wanting to talk to either of them, but Blake blocked my way. Look out. I pushed him aside, but he grabbed my wrists. We just want to be friendly. What are you rushing off for? The way he held me and his hot breath on my skin made me sick. Blood pounded in my ears and memories rose up inside me, memories that I needed to clamp down tight. I tried to slow down my breathing, to hold it together. Maybe if I didn't provoke him, we could get away. I flashed him an apologetic smile. I'm in a hurry. Got to study and stuff. He didn't let go. Oscar had Brittany backed up against the wall, but she didn't struggle. Did she still like Oscar? Don't worry about them. If they want to have a bit of fun, let them. Let me go. I gritted my teeth. If I punched Blake, all hell would break loose, but I had to defend myself. The pounding in my ears got louder as his body pressed against mine. I wouldn't let him touch me. No one touched me without my permission. I stomped on his foot hard with the full force of my boots. He yelped and loosened his grip on my wrists, so I twisted and broke free. Instinct urged me to run, but I couldn't. Not without Brittany. I grabbed her hand, urging her to run with me back to school. Except Oscar grabbed hold of her, his arm circling her waist. "Get off her," I screamed, letting go of her hand. My vision turned black and my ears buzzed. I wanted to kill. That familiar pressure started in my temples, my ineffectual powers rising up inside me. Blake knocked me so that I fell to the ground. I got up and rushed for him. I'd learned a trick or two in foster care, mostly about fighting dirty. I barreled into his side, knocking him down. Then I spun and smashed my fist into Oscar. Hard. He reeled, hollering in pain. He still hadn't let go of Brittany. She didn't react. What was going on with her? She stared into the middle distance, her eyes vacant. Meanwhile, Blake got to his feet. I might be able to fight, but I couldn't take on both of them. I needed Brittany to run or fight, not just stand there. The buzzing in my ears became so loud I covered my head. Except it wasn't just me. Oscar and Blake covered their ears too. The air around us turned black. Bees. A huge swarm of them. I ducked, covering my head, muttering curses under my breath. I'd die here, one way or the other. Stung to death by bees. Blake screamed. Oscar threw himself on the ground. The bees went straight for them, leaving Brittany and me alone. She covered her mouth, giggling. Then she grabbed her shopping bags and the two of us ran. "Did you do that?" I asked when we reached the school. She nodded. "I've got a trick or two. But you were pretty cool." She held her hand up and I stared at it, not sure what she intended. "High five," she said. I'd never high-fived before, but it seemed an okay thing to do. I grinned at Brittany. It seemed we'd become friends. I rushed down to the gym, hoping to get in an hour of training before dinner. Day off be screwed. I didn't have time for rest, not with creeps like Oscar and Blake in this school. On my second round of sprints, my phone beeped. I knew better to check messages while on the treadmill, but I'd hoped Lucas would join me for at least part of my workout. Nothing from Lucas, but a broadcast message from the school. "Farron has been found. Search called off." I stopped running. The treadmill didn't. My legs flew out from under me. I grabbed the handrails, scrambling to get my footing. Hopefully, no one had seen that. Ren had bullied him into leaving. Obviously. And he'd get away with it. No consequences whatsoever. What the hell had he done to Farron? I guess it was better that Farron had left. Maybe he'd be safe from Ren's torment. But why had he left his ring behind? I ran through various theories as I finished my workout, then showered. Nothing I could think of made sense. When I got back to the dorm, a parcel sat on my bed. I eyed it suspiciously. There was no name attached, nothing to identify it. I poked it and I shook it. It seemed harmless. I made a little hole in the paper, and nothing happened. I picked the hole to make it larger. Still safe. It didn't blow up or emit weird smells or seem volatile. Finally, I opened the package enough to look inside. The cherry dress. I let it fall onto my bed. No matter how cute that dress was, I could never wear it. Brittany must have bought it for me when I'd told her not to. I put the dress back in the packaging and stored it in the drawer under my bed. Next time I went to town, I'd return it to the store. No point having an expensive dress go to waste.